you close the back door there. So yeah, I'd like to welcome you guys out to the seminar today. A few announcements. There's the ACMS closing social tonight at 5:30, so make sure and attend. In addition, the University of Utah, the MRED, Masters in Real Estate Development, will actually be hosting that social. So it'll be a good opportunity if you're interested in a master's degree to talk with them as well. Other things, just make sure you're, yeah, Ron? Go ahead.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock for the social? Okay, so 6 o'clock. Other things, make sure you're looking at possible internship opportunities as they come up. There's many opportunities. We have multiple employers that are looking for students even right now. I know there's even some local companies that are looking for students to be working on their projects. Ralph J. Wadsworth. We have Brighton Homes that needs somebody immediately as well. We also have other housing complexes that are looking for carpenters for some part-time work. So please, if you're not aware of these opportunities, reach out to one of your faculty members or look on the Career Navigator as well, and we should be looking for that. In addition, even if you're not looking, it's always a good idea to keep your mind open and your horizon wide with the prospects that are potentially available. So this will actually be the last seminar for this semester, and if you're reporting for a class, just make sure that you report it quickly. There won't be a 2-week lag between when it's due. Next semester, we'll be starting out the semester with Layton Construction being here on campus. We'll have Whitney Walter, who is the Business Development Vice President in their California branch, and so that'll be a great opportunity there. Today, we have Luis Wager, who's from Boeing, and he'll get into that a lot. I'll just read a quick bio on Luis, and feel free to come up afterwards. Luis will be here to answer any questions, and hopefully you enjoy the presentation. As the Boeing Company's lead procurement agent for construction for St. Louis, Missouri, and Huntsville, Alabama sites, Luis Wager works with dozens of business partners to coordinate, negotiate, and establish hundreds of millions of dollars in contracted construction services supporting numerous defense, space, and commercial programs. He is also a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army Reserves and serves as a member of the Military Funeral Honors Team. Luis graduated from BYU-Idaho with a bachelor's degree in construction management and one in communications. He holds multiple higher degrees, and his professional accomplishments include graduating from Boeing's Supplier Management University, his designation as a U.S. Army Battalion MRT ASIST trainer, and earning his LEAD AP, PMP, and CFCM credentials. In addition to being married to his best friend and trying to keep his 4 energetic boys from compromising the structural integrity of the house, Luis enjoys the outdoors, volunteering with various service organizations, listening to audiobooks, and has a particular fondness of his power tools, which came predominantly in yellow and black. And if you'd like to welcome Luis, I wanted to do so. All right, where did they go? First question, who knows what brand my power tools are? I don't know who's. The wall? Here you go. And I meant to go the other way, I apologize. All right, so yes, I have a couple of pictures up here as a means of introduction. My name is Luis Wager. I graduated from BYU-Idaho. Am I speaking too loud for this thing? No. Okay, good. I graduated from BYU-Idaho almost exactly 10 years ago. So April 2007. I caught on that there's finals, so I hope you aren't too distracted during the presentation. I did marry my best friend. I grew up in the military, moved all around, and so between trying to double major here at college, I somehow had time to convince her that I was the guy to marry. And so, and something about driving a truck and having power tools was kind of convincing too. She liked that. Those are my 4 boys. That one in the middle standing up, I love him. I love them all. But that one, I mean, you can't fall in love with that smile, I don't know. The picture in the middle, I am in the reserves. Do we have any military science minors? Any cadets in the room?
No, I thought I walked in the other day and saw a guy in uniform. Oh. Was there one in the back? Cadet? Ugh. Army, right? Ugh. All right. Thank you, and good luck. All right, these bottom two pictures. I work at Boeing. Who knows what Boeing builds?
Airplanes and bombs.
Oh, gee, I'm not going to throw it all the way back there. You guys could pass this through the back. By the way, I have some little trinkets up here. Like if you like a drone pin, it doesn't fly by itself. You have to use imagination. Here, okay. Stylus pens. We got some headphones and jump drives that actually glow when you plug them in. Boeing has been around 100 years. This is our 100th year anniversary. So some of this stuff actually has 100 years on it. Boeing builds planes. We build satellites. We build missiles. We build a smartphone that self-destructs. Did you know that? It's called Boeing Black. Google it. It's a spy phone. Yes, and I'm allowed to disclose that. And it does self-destruct. We build F-18s, the fighter jets, helicopters, the Apache, right? Quite possibly the coolest helicopter out there, the Chinook, and some other really cool stuff out there. It's not a construction company, so why am I here? I'll talk about that. By the way, I'm in St. Louis, and St. Louis is the headquarters for our defense site. Well, it used to be the headquarters, but that's where most of our defense stuff comes from. Air Force One, C-17s, F-18s, F-15s, the Harrier. Like I said, that's a museum I have right there on site in St. Louis. That's what we built. But to build all that, you need buildings. You need a manufacturing facility. You need office space, right? That's where I come in. Who could finish the sentence for me? If you fail to plan, plan to fail. Plan to fail. Oh man, someone just sat in front of you. Come up afterwards. Yeah. Okay, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And this is going to be the slide that introduces the rest of what I'm going to share today. Who here has a one-year plan? Okay, might be just get through finals, might be graduate, maybe get married, or try not to get married. I don't know. Who has a 5-year plan? Who has a 10-year plan? Don't lie to me. Who has a 20-year plan? What's your 20-year plan?
Well, I guess having a family and support kids to college and to be able to travel around the world and
Okay. There you go. Who has a 40-year plan? What's your 40-year plan?
I want to have a company that builds houses for people in need.
All right, I like that. Here you go. And thus ends all the handouts, because if I keep handing out every time someone answers, then there's no mad rush at the end. All right. Does anyone plan to retire in 40 years? I only saw about 5 hands go up. How old are you now? Retirement age, by the way, you can retire at 59 and a half legally, if you want the pensions and everything. So only 5 of you want to retire. The rest of you want to work to the grave. Got it. Awesome. Call me afterwards. I may have a job for you. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. But I want to change this a little bit. I've been a Scoutmaster multiple times during the last 10 years. Something about being 3rd generation Eagle Scout, bishops like that. Like, ooh, Scoutmaster. When we plan campouts, do you think I care if they take Doritos or Fritos to the campout? No, I could care less. Because neither of those are my favorite chip, right? But do I care who's going to get us to the campout? And how we're going to get home? When I'm about ready to string some kids up for, being kids? Yeah! So if you fail to plan the important things, then you plan to fail. That's my little 2 cents on that one. All right, so what I want to talk about is a term that I got while doing my officer training. It's called flexecution. It is not a formal Army term. If you Google flexecution, you're going to come up with some weird stuff like a music band that doesn't know how to play music called Flexecution. They misspell it. There's a company out there called Flexecution Inc., which has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about today, right? And maybe a few little comments on blogs here and there. So it's not a formal term, but it's a term that got myself and a couple other officers through our officer training. because it really zeroed in on what we were being trained to do, which is being flexible and executing our orders. Or in this case, for the presentation today, how are you going to be flexible in executing your careers? Okay? We all have plans. But if I could bear a testimony and not be struck by lightning, our Heavenly Father has plans too, and believe it or not, it may not be the same plan you have. So, what is flexecution? Can someone read those 3 bullet points off for me? Go ahead.
Plan and execute with ill-defined goals and parameters. Adapt the plan of execution to changing circumstances. Modify the targeted end state to match real-world environments.
Okay, so this flexible execution, what is that? It's here, okay? You got ill-defined goals, parameters. When, especially in the Army, hey, LT, go do this. When do you, just do it. Ooh. Anyone got the popcorn? All right. So sometimes the parameters, everyth's not well defined yet. Your plan of execution. Yeah, today we camp out. It looks sunny, so we're gonna go and we're gonna go do some swimming in the lake. We're gonna have some fun. But guess what? Thunderstorms hit. Yeah. Do you have control over those thunderstorms? No, probably not, unless you're really good with the Lord. In which case, maybe. All right. And then modify the end state. I apologize if my humor is. I'm a wager. It's in my blood. I apologize, but I do keep it. I feel like I keep it all appropriate. So if not, I'm going to get a mouthful. Modify the targeted end state to match real-world environments. Sometimes that goal may no longer exist. Right? I want to have a house in L.A., one of those big ones where my next door neighbor is Oprah Winfrey and the other one is, Scarlett Johansson, I don't know. And then guess what? California breaks off, sinks into the ocean because how wicked they become. Well, that end state just changed on you, and you had no control over it, right? All right. And sometimes the remote doesn't work. So when we're talking about career evolution, each of you in here, you're studying construction management or interior design, architecture, or you're just in here because you need a seminar to meet the class requirements. You have nothing to do with construction, right? You have a career, you should have a vision, you have a plan. All of you raise your hands, 5 years, 10 years, yeah, it's probably graduate, get a job, maybe start a family. This was my plan when I graduated. Just so you know, I was in the ACMS. I was very, very involved with the construction group here. I enjoyed it a lot. And I thought I had a good thing going for me. I had some good offers right upon graduation. My thing was, I'm going to graduate. I had multiple offers. I'm going to show my skills because I'm that good. And they're going to look at me and say, man, that guy is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Promote him. And I'm going to do it again. It's like the shampoo instructions. Lather, rinse, repeat. Okay? I'm going to show my skills, get promoted. Show my skills, get promoted. Show my skills, get promoted. And I'm going to do it fast. Anyone see Turbo? Yeah. That guy's fast, right? I'm pretty sure it's physically impossible for a snail, but science is pretty cool out there. So that was my idea. I'm going to move, and I'm going to move fast. Anyone have a plan like that? Well, don't be ashamed, because some people do move fast. Okay? I was telling Brother Everett, my manager is younger than me, and she makes double my income. I don't make a bad income. It's not what I want. It's not a bad income. She makes double that, and she's younger than me. So yes, you can move fast. I didn't. Okay, so when it comes to career evolution, when people go onto my LinkedIn profile, or I'm being interviewed or reached out by companies who want me to go work for them, this is what they see. Okay? So yeah, I got 2 masters, 2 bachelors. I was lead AP, CFCM, Stanford. I got my Army certifications. I was valedictorian, Eagle Scout. That's what they see. Here's what they don't see. They don't see what I had to go through to get there. Flexecution, you gotta be flexible. Sometimes life happens. Okay? Life throws curveballs, life throws lemons. What's that saying? If life throws you lemons, you go make some? Lemonade. And if they throw you more, you make some? More lemonade. And if you're tired of lemonade, you make some lemon meringue pie, lemon, different, whatever you want. You do what life does. All right, so I want to kind of walk you through my background, my career, because I'm hoping as you go forward in your careers, if similar things happen to you, you can retain that perspective that it's just a short time. So 2007, when I graduated, I started Matt Construction. I was the first lead AP in the company. First employee to get the lead AP certification. There was one guy who came with the lead AP. But in a company of about 200 professionals, I was the first one to get it. I then helped develop the lead AP program, which eventually led to about 25% of the people getting it. Okay? I was on special projects. I had an early bonus. Woohoo! Life is going good. 2008 comes around. I was on a $400 million Nickelodeon project at the time. I was being groomed for that. So most of my time was spent on the pre-con, working on that project while doing project engineering on the side on some other projects. Trump University. Anyone see all this stuff about Trump University right now? Okay. I hope the litigation passes because I put in 40 grand into that. So take that for what it is, right? Trump University, I would go out, I buy my first house in Long Beach, California. I bought it out of foreclosure. It had foreclosed. The sale price on that was $625,000. I bought it for $302, 50 cents on the dollar. Even better, right? At 49 cents on the dollar. I was doing good. I got laid off 2 weeks later. Oh, yeah, not a cool trick, people. I got called into the executive office because I'm thinking I'm getting another early bonus because that's how cool I was. I was showing my skills. And instead, there was a manila envelope and 2 weeks severance. You know how long 2 weeks severance lasts in LA? About 2 weeks. Yeah. So my wife and I were not happy. We didn't even move into the house. We were still fixing it up. And a project manager that I worked with was very upset when he heard that I was being laid off. I was one of the last ones hired on, first ones out, so it wasn't anything personal. It was just business. You hear that saying? It's just business. He lined up a job for me. Nice. My wife and I prayed about it, and the impression was so strong that we were to go to Texas. So guess what we did? We moved to Texas. The following year, I can't find work. I'm getting paid more on my unemployment benefits than any job I'm being offered. I'm hearing you're overqualified, which when you need to feed a family, that's not a good thing to hear. Overqualified. So hire me. I'm cheap, right? So I decided to go back to school and start pursuing some degrees. I started my MBA at Pepperdine in California. That's a $70,000 program. Yeah, couldn't afford that anymore. So I went to a cheaper school. But I lived off student loans for a while. And then financial education, I put that up there because I work with a company and I'm actually in the process of getting my securities licenses because I enjoy helping families take control of their finances, get out of debt, plan for the future. Because I went through a lot of mess that I don't think I had I been trained properly, so I was going to go help other people. So that's 2009. 2010, still studying. Seminary Institute, I was a seminary teacher for a year. I was an institute teacher for a year because apparently I had a lot of time. I like to think I was a good teacher as well. Really good for that period of time. The Lord knows where to put you when He needs you, right? I'm not lying when I say it was a tough time. My ego was hurt. You see what I've been able to accomplish. Couldn't find a job. I'm living in my parents' house. Not even the whole house. I lived in a bedroom in my parents' house. Okay? Can't find a job. That's frustrating. But guess what? Teaching seminary? You know what class I taught in seminary? Take a guess. There's only 4 classes. Come on. Book of Mormon. Yes, the keystone of our religion, right? I taught Book of Mormon. And I'm teaching the youth, you've got to have a testimony, right? Joseph Smith is a prophet of the Lord. The Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ. It says so on the title even, right? Guess what I taught for Institute? It wasn't Book of Mormon. You gotta have, well, I guess
Doctrine and Covenants.
Doctrine and Covenants. You want to know how many stories of people who went through oppression are in the Doctrine and Covenants? Yeah, like the whole thing, right? Once Brigham Young settles in the Rocky Mountains, everything's like cool. We only get 2 more sections after that. But the Lord knows what I needed, and I learned more than I think I ever taught my students. So that kept me going. I joined a real estate investment club. I locked in 4,000 acres. Found the sweet deal of a lifetime. I worked with a young man, real estate agent. We're like, this is prime development land. We did some research. They're planning a nice passway through it. I was able to tie it all up for $5,000. It's a $4 million package, but I convinced the people to put me on a contract for $5,000 down. Found a developer who his son happened to be a student at Rick's, and they decided they were going to buy it. My transfer fee was $100,000. That's not bad for a day's work, right? So I transfer it, and about 3 weeks later, the city that was going to provide all the water service and sewer and everything, they back out. That's weird. The electrical companies, the electrical providers, they're backing out. Turns out, government politics, sometimes it's all who you know. Someone did not want this land deal to be going to this guy. So the deal fell through. I buy $100,000. Easy come, easy go. Also at the same time, in 2010, I was applying to the U.S. Secret Service. Anyone, well, I'm assuming no one here is applying right now, need a degree. 20 months. It took 20 months. I started in 2009, and in 2010, only 2 of us made it through the initial cuts. The other guy was in the other ward, so that says something for LDS, right? The only 2 who made it through the initial tests were both members of the church in good standing. And when he got his offer, I was told that, oh, you have dual citizenship in Guatemala. I do? Okay. Let me call my mom. Mom, do I have citizenship in Guatemala? By the way, my mom is Guatemalan. And she said, yes, you do. I'm like, thanks for telling me. I'm going to have to go take care of this, and that delayed the process. But I made it through. And my buddy in the Secret Service, when I got through all the steps, he says, congratulations, you're in. This is awesome. I'm like, sweet. And I get a letter a few days later that says, all vacancies are full. Thank you for your interest. What? Well, that's right around the time where the hiring freezes occurred. All right. 2011. I'm doing well in the financial side. I'm about to open an office, but I get an offer from LA, from this general contractor in LA. I say I got seduced because the number was really nice. So I upped and moved. Company went bankrupt 6 weeks after I went there. I walk in from lunch, people packing boxes, and first thing I say is, we're moving offices? No, you need to go talk to the boss. Boss says we're done. Wow. LA and I are not good friends. I ended up moving to Illinois. My in-laws were stationed at Scott Air Force Base, and we lived in their basement for a few months. So my wife was tired of living with my parents. She wanted her parents to have a turn. I sell cars for a couple months while I'm looking for a job. I ended up taking a job at Express Scripts. They are the largest pharmaceutical benefit manager. So if you ever go to like a Walgreens, Walmart, wherever to pick up prescriptions, chances are Express Scripts does business with them. Okay? I'm on a $1 billion+ government contract. I'm in contract management. PMP, MBA, CFCM, those are credentials I completed during that time. And I'm called into the Scouts. Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster, I can't remember, they're all the same, right? Something about that, Secret Service opens up around this time frame, openings again. Just to give you an idea how much I wanted to do federal law enforcement, when I was a priest, myself and a friend escorted a deacon on temple grounds with an earpiece in our ear, and we went into the visitor center. Clear. We did that. So That's me, right? Secret Service opens vacancies. I apply because I'm like, I got this. And then my wife, I love her to death, says, maybe you should pray about this. So I did, and the answer came back so strong, that ship has sailed. It's not good for your family. And I cried. I was on my knees on the side of the bed crying for probably a good 10 minutes because I knew the answer was a no and I wanted it to be a yes. But the Lord knows, right? He knows. So I'm doing well at Express Scripts, but once again, there's politics. If you guys work in big companies, trust me, there's a lot of politics. You want some good communication skills, you want some good people skills, and trust the Lord that He knows what to do. After being told twice that I'm performing 2-3 levels above my pay grade, but they can't promote me yet because I haven't been there long enough, I said, okay, bye. I had a connection at Boeing, and Boeing brought me on. I started as a what's called electric, and electromagnetic component buyer. So I'm buying diodes, transistors, nothing having to do with construction, unless you consider putting a transistor on a motherboard construction. But that's what I'm buying. At the same time, I commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. I finished a master's in management, and then I started the Boeing Supply Management University program. And I'm still in Scouts. All right, 2014, that's where I have 3 months flight executing on there because I'm at Army training for 3 months and having to understand that we're being told to do stuff that we have no idea how to do, but they're not telling us how to do it, so we got to do it anyway. All right. I finished the programs. I finished a master's certificate from George Washington in project management, and I'm still with the BSA, but this time I decided I wasn't busy enough, so I'm going to go be on the board of directors for Habitat for Humanity. They suckered me into it. What can I say? I was very involved with Habitat for Humanity here. Does ACMS still do that? Yes, no? Oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe you should. 2015, a new position opens up at Boeing. Construction buyer. Boeing buys construction? I read the job description, I'm like, I think I qualify. I get a call from HR, the guy's like, sir, are you lying? I think that's a bad thing to do. No. He said, okay, because it looks like someone wrote the job description just for you. I'm like, that's what I thought. Guess who got the job? Yours truly. At the same time, I become a assistant for Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Trainer. I'm a trainer on suicide intervention for the Army. And I take over $100+ million in projects for Boeing when I move in. Like here, we haven't had a construction guy in about 6 months. Go. So I went from doing really nothing construction anymore to all of a sudden having $100+ million in contracts. BSA, H4H, still there. 2016, my wife and I read a book called Essentialism. It's all about zeroing in, getting rid of all the fluff, get rid of distractions, focus. So we're doing that. I've done over 175 million in contracts at that point. I give it Huntsville because apparently St. Louis wasn't big enough for me. They said, hey, we're going to give you Huntsville, Alabama as well. Thank you. We buy a house, and technically that's the 5th house I bought, but the first house my wife got to move into. So she loves me now. We had our 4th boy. I then become observer coach trainer certified with the Army because Army likes us to do things for them too. 2017, I've executed over $200 million to this point. People come out, and I'm not saying this to brag, but it's a unique skill set and background that I have. So people are coming. Right now, I'm in discussions with Disney. Kind of have my fingers crossed that it'll work out. At the same time, LA, not good for me. If history has taught me anything, we've been taught so many times to be prepared. That first time being unemployed shook my world and my wife's. It was hard. Second time being unemployed, we were better prepared. And this time, I have my food storage. I have enough water storage and I have enough guns and ammunition to protect it. Okay? This Eagle Scout is prepared. I hope I don't have to need it, right? But it's there. I'm a first lieutenant in the Army now, and my testimony is stronger than ever. Okay, so my reality. Graduate with a job, lose the job, find a job, lose the job, find a job, quit the job, find a job. So the pattern repeats itself. All right. Income. I did not put numbers there on purpose. Okay, I don't want anyone thinking like, ooh, he makes a lot of money, or ooh, he doesn't make money, right? I do okay, just take that. I started up there, went to nothing. You see how that income chart is growing? I'm in a good direction, okay? Family size. Family kept going. I kept trying for a girl. I got 4 boys. Yeah, I failed. All right. And then the testimony, though. My testimony was shaken. I will tell you, my testimony was shaken. But in hindsight, I see the hand of the Lord now. Do I want him to put me through another refiner's fire? Heavens no. But will I be okay if he does? Yes. All right.
Shouldn't have said that last time.
Flexecution. Can you plan and execute with ill-defined goals and parameters? I had a plan. It got shaken up. Trying to find another job, still shaken. My parameters were very wide. I just wanted a job, right? But they weren't very well defined. I couldn't really make it work. Did I have to adapt my plan of execution to the circumstances? Definitely. A lot. And then the end state to match the real world environment. Did I go back into construction after I lost my job? No.
There wasn't any.
There wasn't any. That end state was gone. At least for me at that time. Am I in construction now? Yes, through aerospace. And it's pretty neat. Okay. So this is what you hope for on the right side, right? You got your plan, zero in. I'm sorry, I'm not aiming at anyone in particular. And you let it go, right? And if you miss, you're a little off, you adjust, and you go. Reality is that little booger of a bullseye, he moves. Or she moves. Now, if your target is to find a spouse, take that for what it is, right? That target will move on you. Sometimes that target just goes away. I keep hoping. Okay. Couple things for you to take into consideration as you move forward with careers. 1, is your goal, dream, your end state, target fixed? Or do you think you might be ignoring some other opportunities? Are you open up, you don't have blinders on, to seeing what else might be there for you? The door might close on you, but is there a window open, right? If you zeroed in on one thing and that doesn't look like it happens, a lot of people fall apart. Ah! Right? They don't have my shoe size. Well, go to the other shoe store. Or go online, right? I mean, there's ways around it. And then can you think outside the box? And that's a big one. So I'm going to talk about you guys. You heard a little bit about my history. I don't want to take all the time talking about me, even though it's fun, right? We're going to talk about you now. Have you thought about alternate careers? There's one I forgot to put on there. Can anyone think of one that I did not put on there? A pretty big one, I think.
Military.
Okay, 2. Civil engineer.
IT or?
Be a business. Own your own business, right? Can you open up a business in construction or engineering, interior design, right? That's an option. I don't think I found it, right? So how many here are thinking they want to go into construction management? That's your career of choice. How is construction management different from general contracting? Anyone? I had Super really get into me on this. In the back?
Isn't general contracting where you mainly focus in one field, like plumbing or framing?
Okay. Let's hear some other thoughts.
Usually as a general, well, if you're the owner of a general contracting company, all the financial burden's on you versus project manager, it's not really on you, but it's
Okay.
it's your job.
Right here in the middle?
It requires a lot more business oriented rather than management.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Professors?
Yeah, so general contracting includes a self-perform or in-house labor, whereas construction management is just the management portion of that. So we don't have any in-house construction workers.
Right. General contractors, builders who have in-house capabilities, where self-perform concrete work or erecting structural steel, things like those are general contractors. They carry a burden in-house as well, but they have the resources internal and external. They're able to sub out. Construction management professionals are really just that management element. They're not going to do any of the building, right? And I remember when I worked for Mac Construction, the superintendent was like, you have a degree in construction management, why are you working for us? You guys build buildings. He's like, yeah, that's not construction management. Okay. We're a general contractor. Got it. Peace. We're good, right? Trades and crafts. The professors could correct me if they disagree with what I'm about to say, but there is a shortage of skilled craftsmen and women out in the market today. I know that because I have to pay a lot of money to get what I want on my job sites. I don't want that little guy who you just pulled off the shop floor. I want this team that's been doing this work for 20 years. Because what I'm building at my sites at Boeing, we don't want things to mess up. You know, if the building falls in on a bunch of bombs, it's a bad day. That's a career. As construction managers, the business skills you learn through the program apply just as well with a trade as it would with a general contractor. In fact, I know some people who get paid very well because of what they bring to the table. I'm going to put the foot in right now for internships. Get them. If you have opportunities, residential, commercial, industrial, be a carpenter, be in the trade, but get some experience, okay? Facilities. What's facilities management? Anyone?
Dealing with tenants who destroy things.
Okay. That's okay. Me, that's a landlord, but it is along those lines.
With a facility, there's wear and tear. I mean, there's always things breaking down, things going on. Maintenance has to be done on the HVAC and other equipment in the building. You just manage that.
Professors, how soon are we getting a new Austin building?
It's coming pretty soon.
At what point do you decide to replace a building?
Cost
It
of
doesn't
maintenance
suit its purpose
more than
anymore.
cost of construction.
Purpose, maintenance, when the cost benefit, right? Is it cheaper to maintain a building or build a new building? That's a trick question. It depends. But facilities, with the knowledge of the construction industry, might you have a good career in facilities? And I'm going to tell you right now, the facilities managers at Boeing do okay. I'm just saying. I'm not going into that field because there's a particular person I'm not very fond of, and I don't want to be reporting up to him, so I stay where I am. Consulting groups, are there construction consultants out there? Now, that's not going to be straight out of the gate, right out of graduation from BYU, unless you happen to spend 20 years in the industry and then came and got your degree. But consulting groups might be an option. Procurement and sourcing. Does anyone know what my title is? Who's paying attention in the bio?
Weren't you a purchasing agent? Yeah.
Procurement agent.
Procurement agent.
I'm the lead construction procurement agent at Boeing. Does that sound construction-y enough for you? Yeah, that construction's not even in my title. It's just procurement agent. And then there's some numbers they throw on the back and say how cool I am, right? Procurement and sourcing. My job description, if you were to read it, it's like a block like this big. The short and sweet of it is I work with the end user, so my business partners at Boeing, to aggregate all the requirements. I send out as an RFP. I negotiate the contract terms and conditions. I sign the contract. I am, at Boeing, there's only one title that's allowed to commit Boeing dollars. and that's a procurement agent, okay? My authority level right now is at $2 million, hopefully it'll be $3 million come July, where I don't have to report to anyone. I sign the contract. As long as I feel that's the best deal for Boeing, I have up to a $3 million signatory authority, and if my manager approves, up to $35 million. Is that a lot of money? That's a pretty nice house, isn't it? Okay, I don't get paid that, don't worry. I execute the contracts. If there's issues, legal issues, it comes through me first. I manage the supplier. I want good relationships because I want the best pricing and I want to know I'm getting the best for Boeing. Sometimes it's not the easiest job because the end user, maybe the facilities guy says, I want a new shed out back. And I say, okay, I'm going to go compete and says, well, I want this tomorrow, just execute it. I was like, no. If I could save 50 grand on a tool shed, that's someone's salary. And that, I'm responsible for that. So, in the construction world, what does that sound like? Who negotiates the contracts? Who signs the contracts? Who ensures performance? I'm sorry, what? Construction managers, your project managers, or senior project, depending on the location, right? You're a project manager, right? That title says nothing about construction. But take my word for this. Microsoft, Boeing, Amazon, take any big company out there, Nike, they have facilities teams. They have construction buyers. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're looking at a career path. Don't just zero in on one. Keep a wide open, field of view. Contract management. I was at Express Scripts, that's where I got most of my contract management, but guess what I'm doing day in, day out? I sign contracts. And guess who they're going to come to and fire first if something goes wrong with that contract? And you saw my history, right? Find a job, lose a job, find a job, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And then, I guess I did put business, an entrepreneur, but I put a couple things down there. Where's my veteran at, or my ROTC guy? Where was he? All right. Not to put you on the spot. Are you Hispanic by any chance?
Yes.
Okay. If ever you go to war and you get shot and you survive, do me a favor, open up a business, okay? As minority-owned, veteran-owned, disabled veteran-owned, and if you could put it in a HUD zone, I would love it, and I'll get you some contracts. How's that? Big corporations like Boeing, we have diversity requirements. Small business administration, small disadvantages, small disadvantaged businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, HUD zone. Boeing has targets to award contracts to those. So if you're a female and you're thinking, I might have an opportunity, yes, you just might very well have an opportunity. You still got to be competitive. Keep that in mind. Now, for if you fit the mold of the average, thank you, Caucasian male, I'm sorry, to this point, there's no advantage to awarding there, unless you happen to be a veteran, in which case, awesome. All right? Is this providing some additional perspectives, I hope? Okay. This is your career, but it may not just be one. I was in construction management. I did work for a general contractor. I was in contract management, and I'm now in procurement. But I'm doing construction now. Okay? Any questions or any comments? Anything you think might want to share for the benefit of the group? Did we miss something? Okay. A couple things to keep in mind. What's your ultimate goal? Don't confuse title with purpose. I don't have the title of CEO, but I talked with some very high ups at another company. It turns out I'm able to purchase more on my authority than their CEO can. It's their subsidiary to another company. But he's only allowed to buy things up to $500,000. I'm able to execute $2 million without having to report it up. Don't confuse title with purpose. Don't equate pay with compensation. I was talking with some of the other professors. Could I get paid more? Probably. But you know what? I enjoy my 40-hour weeks. I enjoy my 15-minute drive to work. I enjoy the fact that I don't have to justify why I need to go do another funeral for the military to my manager. She just says, go ahead, do it. Make sure you stay on top of your work. So I have a decent quality of life. Don't misconstrue time with experience. You could be on a project for 10 years doing the same thing, and you may not be as qualified experience-wise as the guy who's done five years, but he's been on 20 different projects and seen a lot more. Okay? And don't let the world tell you what makes you happy. Don't get distracted. The world will say you need a fast car, a big house, things like that. I saw this going around on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook really, but my wife is, and that Dallin H. Oaks quote, I don't know if anyone saw it, Elder Oaks, you know, you can never get enough of what the world says will make you happy, because what the world says will make you happy doesn't, or something like that, along those lines, right? Might that goal change? Remember, execution, the goal can change on you, so do let the Lord guide your growth spiritually and temporally. Do take the time to meditate what you really want to achieve in this life. And remember, you may not wake up tomorrow. So whatever you're trying to achieve, make it worthwhile. My grandfather was orphaned he lost both parents around the age of 5 or 6. My grandfather down in Guatemala. He worked on the streets, shining shoes, selling little gum, worked his way through college. Long story short, when he passed away, there were 7,000 people at his funeral. He was a patriarch in the state, but most of these people, my family down in Guatemala, had no clue who they were. They were the people, because of his background and what he went through growing up, he would help on the side. The Lord blessed him with a successful business, but it wasn't the size of his business that I will remember him for. It's the size of that heart and what he did for the people around him. Okay? Find joy and peace in knowing that the Lord knows what will work best for you. That's hard to do sometimes, to do it. Okay, I'm going to take the last probably 5 minutes because I want to open up for some questions, but we're going to talk about big data. What's big data? Anyone? Sorry, I thought I had the definition. Big data is the concept of there's so much information out there, isn't there? And so companies can go and source all this information, find correlations, trends, or whatever they're looking for. Hey, I want to build in this region, so I'm going to look at all these data points and see, does it make sense to build? Or I'm looking at trying to penetrate into this marketplace. What does all the data say about it? Example, I worked at ESI. They do pharmacy. They do drug development. They can, as a pharmacy benefit manager, they have the ability with about a 90% accuracy, they can tell if you go in to fill a prescription, whether or not you're going to stick to it. 9 out of 10 people, they'll know whether or not you'll stick to your prescription, because they look at where do you live, what's your education, what's your background, did you move around a lot, all these things that you're like, okay, what's that have to do? Well, in aggregate, big data can help indicate trends. That's what this is all about. So construction, whoever asked me, what do I know about big data in construction? Is there something I can share about that? I work with CEOs and presidents of construction companies quite a bit when I do the RFPs and their senior leadership. These 3 provided me some information. Anyone here, Turner? Okay. Clayco, that's more of a regional, but they're a big guy. MC Industrial, McCarthy. Anyone here, McCarthy? If you went to the ASC competition, I think they were hosting one of those. So big data from Turner. They use data to help. They have an internal group that does the costing index. They're looking at price trends, so they know how to be competitive on projects on the long run. And then they also have consultants. So do they use it all in-house? No, not necessarily, but they do source data from companies to help them with their choices. Clayco, this one was a fun one. Clayco has 12 subsidiary companies to them. They all specialize in different things. They have Ventana, Forum, and their subsidiaries specialize in different things. So they have one. They store all their information in the cloud, so all their subsidiaries can use the same information, right? If you see up there, it's not a formal program, but it is used in the delivery process. They use information as they model in the assumptions they make. They're using that data. Workplace strategy and design. This is all about the client comes to you. I want to build a manufacturing facility, but I'm not sure how to maximize my space. And those guys are like, hey, yeah, we can help you with that. And they'll do studies of existing space. They'll read all the card readers, like you see here, points retrieved from card readers. They want to see what are the trends. Do people go on this side more, that side more? What's this, what's that? They're looking at all this information, and then they come back to the client and say, boom, given all the information we got from the industry, and particularly in your organization, this is what we're recommending. And of course, the client says, that's pretty cool. Do it, right? And then they also use surveys, data points, soft data there. MC Industrial, they shared with me an internal white paper. This is our analysis of the marketplace. I actually saw on there they're trying to get into my industry, aerospace. We think there's a market opportunity if we go this route because the trends here indicate strong opportunity for aerospace, and we believe we have the ability to get into that market. It works for them. I also know another company that says the same thing, aerospace, great place to try and go start building. They didn't win the last contract I went out for bid, so I don't know if they'll still do it. Does that make sense? Maybe not at this time, but as you guys evolve in your careers, I feel these data points as the market in a global market, please remember it's no longer, you're no longer competing just in your hometown. We're no longer competing just in the United States. Some of these companies compete around the globe. They're consolidating specialties. You may be sitting next to an architect who 5 years earlier was working for a design firm, but now the company has design, engineering, architecture, engineering, construction all under one roof. That's just the way it's going. We gotta stay competitive. I'm not saying I disagree with the global marketplace. Competition drives the best pricing and ingenuity. Just be prepared for that. You guys, these words sound familiar? Is it a smart thing for a company to do all that? Be flexible. Agile. Who knows? Anyone read a book lately on agile? Okay, if not, that's bad. Being creative, being responsive, all of this stuff. Now, I started off talking about flexible execution. Companies are doing this day in, day out. They have a strategy, they have a vision, they have a goal in mind, and whenever that changes, they have to change the strategy. Anyone ever read a movie from Blockbuster?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. What happened to Blockbuster? Redbox, Netflix, online. They ignored it. And there's examples all across different industries, right? How many companies is Amazon putting out of business? But Amazon has a model that works. But what happens if all of a sudden our electronic infrastructure is destroyed for whatever reason, right? Amazon's out of business, right? So you gotta be adaptive, and it's the same with your careers. Okay? It both works as corporations and as individuals. You've got to take some action. Analysis paralysis. It's a very real term out there. Companies that take too long or individuals who take too long trying to plan out every detail, you may find yourself left behind. Okay? So learn to become a little flexible, be able to take some action even, as opposed to no action, unless the risk is too great. Sometimes no action is the right move. Adapt your plan of execution to the changing circumstances. things change. You will need to as well. The one thing you should not change, though, reliance on the Lord, right? Obeying the commandments, big important thing. And then maybe you need to change your end target. I told Brother Everett, I'm missing a few commas in my bank account right now. I expected to, have a couple $1 billion by now, and apparently I did the game wrong. Mark Zuckerberg and I weren't best friends. Nor was Jeff Bezos with me. All right. Key takeaways. Learn to execute the prior 3 points. I heard people typing them down. Learn to be flexible. And then consult the Lord. And this is one of my favorite scriptures. I have learned to love this scripture. Doctrine and Covenants 59. Oh, I didn't put it up there. Doctrine and Covenants section 59, verses 3 and 4. Can someone please read that?
Yea, blessed are they whose feet stand upon the land of Zion, who have obeyed my gospel. For they shall receive for their reward the good things of the earth, and it shall bring forth in its strength. And they shall also be crowned with blessings from above, yea, with commandments not a few, and with revelations in their time, they that are faithful and diligent before me.
This is where you want to be, obeying the gospel, and this is the promise. You shall be crowned with blessings from above, and with commandments not a few. When the Lord tells you to do something, is that a commandment? Right. I mean, you could call it inspiration, you could call it a recommendation. The Lord says, move, you might want to move, right? But that's what I see. If you do this, if your feet are planted on the land of Zion, you're obeying the gospel, you'll be blessed with blessings through the commandments, not a few, because of the revelations that will come in their own time, right? Those who are faithful and diligent. I promise you, I testify to you that if you will stay close to the Spirit, I've told this to my seminary students, I tell it to my institute students, I tell it to the scouts, to young men and young women all the time. Make the Holy Ghost your best friend. Live worthy of His inspiration. The Lord knows what's best for you. He knows your aspirations. He knows your ambitions in life. He knows what you want to do. You want to build homes, right, and make them economical. You want to change the world. That is great. The Lord knows your heart. But trust Him. Even when it doesn't make sense, trust that He knows what He's doing. If you do that, I testify to you, the Lord will take care of you. He's done it for me. Even though my paychecks were meager at times and my account balances were in the negative at times, I'm much better. I am a much better man today because of what the Lord allowed me and helped me go through. The church is true. The gospel is real. Our Savior lives. Heavenly Father loves us. Book of Mormon is the keystone of religion. I testify to that. And we have living prophets and apostles today. I testify in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I'm sorry I didn't leave much time for the questions.
Yeah, let's just take a couple questions. We can have a couple questions after.
If you have questions.
Ask me
Yeah.
questions.
Any questions?
So this is so many areas like a career path. As a college graduate, where should we start? I mean, it's really confusing. Like, where should we start?
Just start.
Start anywhere, right?
Well, and that's the thing. In my experience, the people who wait and want that perfect opportunity, and sometimes maybe you have to wait. But that's where the Lord comes in too. Sometimes the Lord says, I don't care what you do something. But then sometimes the Lord will say, no, don't take that job in California. You can go to Texas and you're going to be unemployed and underemployed for 24 months. And then you go back and you say, it doesn't seem right, Lord. That looked much better. But then being that seminary and institute teacher for those 2 years, that changed my world. Okay? I don't know if you guys saw the seminary certificate up there. That did more for me than I think any of the other diplomas I have did for me, because I have a testimony and I know where truth can be found.
Yeah, we'll close. Let's thank Luis for coming. I got headphones, there's some jump drives, there's styluses, there's those drone little pins that you have to use your imagination to fly around. Feel free to take them.